All right, hello and welcome. Today we're going to talk about what might just be the single most valuable thing a company can create. And no, it's not a shiny new product or a massive factory. It's something called brand equity. So let's grab our metaphorical hard hats because we're about to look at the blueprint for building some serious long-term value.
So let me just ask you this straight up. What do you think is a brand's most valuable asset? I'll give you a hint. It's not something you can touch or, lock away in a safe. It's something that exists entirely in the minds of your customers. And because of that, it's an asset that has to be built really carefully, piece by piece. Okay, so here's the game plan. This is our blueprint. We're going to kick things off by figuring out what brand equity even is. Then we'll get into the build itself with three main pillars: awareness, perceptions, and loyalty. And to wrap it all up, we'll look at how technology is basically a supercharger for this whole process.
All right, first things first. Before we can build anything, we've got to lay the foundation, right? So let's get crystal clear on what we're actually talking about. What exactly is this powerful kind of hidden value that we call brand equity? So, in the simplest terms, brand equity is all that extra value a company gets just because of its name. I mean, think about it. Why are you willing to shell out more cash for a specific brand of sneakers or coffee when there's a generic version right next to it that's pretty much the same? That little bit extra, that feeling of trust, or maybe that sense of coolness, that is brand equity right there. It's how a good reputation literally turns into cold, hard cash. Okay, so how do we actually build this thing? Well, the whole process really stands on three main pillars. It all starts with awareness. I mean, people have to know you exist, right? From there, it's all about shaping perceptions. That's both what people think about your quality and the feelings they associate with you. And all of that work is driving towards the ultimate prize, brand loyalty. So let's get started and lay that foundation with pillar number one.
Just like you wouldn't build a skyscraper on sand, you can't build a powerful brand without a rock-solid foundation. And for us, that foundation is pure and simple: awareness. Because let's be honest, if nobody knows you exist, then everything else is, well, it's pointless. So what do we mean by awareness? It's really two things: recognition and recall. Recognition is pretty simple. It's when someone sees your logo or hears your name and goes, "Oh yeah, I know them." But recall is the next level. That's when a customer thinks, "I need a new pair of running shoes," and your brand is the very first one that pops into their head. Getting that mental foothold is absolutely the first critical step. And believe me, this stuff doesn't happen by magic. You build it with smart, strategic repetition. You're basically creating these little mental shortcuts in people's brains, whether it's with a super catchy jingle, a very specific color, or an unforgettable logo. But the absolute key here, it's consistency. It's all about showing up in the exact same way over and over and over again until you're just unmissable. All right, the foundation is set. People know who you are. Awesome. Now it's time to actually build the walls and the roof. This next part is all about shaping what people think about you, and this is huge, how they feel about your brand. Welcome to the second pillar, perceptions. And this idea of perception really has two sides to it. Think of it like head versus heart. First, you've got the head part, the rational stuff, perceived quality. Does this thing actually work? Is it gonna break on me? It's all about what the product does. But then you've got the heart part, brand association. This is totally different. This is about what your brand means to people. Is it exciting, trustworthy, a little bit rebellious? This is where your brand really gets its soul, its personality. Okay, so let's recap. We've got our foundation of awareness. We've built the structure with positive perceptions. But, a house is just a house. It doesn't become a home until people actually want to be there, right? And that brings us to our final and maybe most important pillar, loyalty. This is where we turn casual customers into true diehard fans. Honestly, brand loyalty, it's the holy grail of marketing. It's that magic moment when a customer chooses you over and over, even when another option might be cheaper or right around the corner. It's a conscious choice. And that's why it's the ultimate measure of brand equity. A loyal customer isn't just a sale. They become your biggest cheerleader, your advocate. So the big question is, how do you earn that? How do you get that kind of commitment? Well, you earn it by doing what you say you're gonna do every single time, by making every customer experience a good one, by giving them value that's more than just the thing they bought. And you know what? The best of the best, the really powerful brands, they take it one step further. They build a whole community around the brand so people feel like they belong to something. So what we've just walked through is basically the classic, timeless blueprint for building brand equity. It's worked for decades. But here's the cool part. Today, we've got a whole toolbox full of digital power tools that can make this whole process way faster and more effective. Let's take a look at how technology really amplifies each of those pillars we just talked about.
I mean, just think about it for a second. For that first pillar, awareness, social media ads let you reach the exact right people with pinpoint accuracy. For perceived quality, what's more powerful than thousands of online reviews and testimonials? It's like word of mouth on steroids. Then for association, you've got influencer marketing and content that can tell your brand's story and shape what it means to a whole generation. And finally, for loyalty, things like CRM systems and loyalty programs let you build and manage those customer relationships on a massive scale. Okay, so if there is just one single thing you remember from all of this, please let it be this. Great brands are not a happy accident. They don't just magically appear. They are built deliberately, strategically. It's a disciplined construction project, one pillar at a time. Brand equity is an asset you build on purpose, with a plan. And that really leaves us with one final big question to chew on. You know, markets are always changing, new competitors pop up every single day. The brands that actually survive, the ones that last, are the ones with that deep well of equity, the ones built on that solid foundation of awareness, perception, and real loyalty. So I'll just leave you with this. In a world that never stops changing, is your brand truly built to last?